Hey, Amelia, I need to talk to you about something.
Oh, hi, Deacon. What's wrong?
Look, it's just not working out. I'm sorry.
Huh? What's not working out? What are you talking about?
You, living with me and Kyle, it's not working and I want you out of my house.
What?
Ugh, why do I have to explain everything to you twice? It's so annoying.
Well, I'm sorry, but I would like it to be clear what you're actually saying here. I wouldn't want to interpret something the wrong way.
What's there to interpret wrong? I want you out of my house, ASAP.
But why? What have I done to upset you so much? I thought we were all getting on really well.
Well, you were wrong. I'm fed up with having to deal with you every day. I mean, me and Kyle have only been married a year and we're already looking after you. I want time so it can just be me and him, without his mom tagging along to everything.
I don't tag along to everything.
Oh yeah? How about the other day when we went to that castle? I was so looking forward to having a fun and romantic time with my husband, and then you came along. I even had to sit in the back of the car just so you could have the front seat.
I only came because Kyle asked me to. You even said it was okay when I asked you.
I had to say that, didn't I? I couldn't exactly say no after Kyle had asked. The least you could have done was go off on your own and leave us to do whatever we wanted. You didn't have to trail behind us every step of the way.
So you'd rather I had walked off on my own and been lonely?
Well, yeah, you had your husband, I want mine. You can't just steal my husband away from me simply because yours is no longer alive. I know Kyle is your son, but you really need to let go of him now. We can't have you living with us, and everything for the rest of our lives.
So what? You're just going to kick me out? Just like that?
You can, have a few days to get your stuff sorted. I don't want a bunch of old lady things cluttering up my home.
Oh, wow. Thanks. That's so kind of you.
Ugh, there's no need to be sarcastic. Look, I know it's not ideal, but neither is having you live with us. We've put up with you long enough, so now it's time you find your own place. It's only fair.
I think I'll be having a word with Kyle about this. I want to see what he has to say about how you're behaving.
Go ahead. I'm sure he'll say the same thing.
I'll see about that. Kyle, are you free to chat?
I have a few minutes, but I do have a lot of work to get through.
I'll try and make this quick. Did you know that Tegan is trying to kick me out of the house?
She's what?
Yeah, she messaged me just now telling me that I had to move all of my things out and find somewhere else to live. Did you both agree on this?
Well, we have talked about this, but we never said anything about telling you to move out, especially so harshly like this.
But you did want me gone?
I wanted to talk to you about how we could sort things out between the three of us. I wanted your input on the matter, though, because you're my mom.
I see. Well, your wife clearly doesn't feel the same way. She told me that I have a couple of days to clear my things out and then I'm supposed to move out.
I've got to get back to work, but we can all discuss it when I get back later.
Okay, I'll see you soon. Tegan, why are all of my things in boxes in the front yard?
Well, I just thought I'd help you pack and get going.
I thought you said that I had at least a few days to find somewhere new.
Yes, well, I changed my mind. I've decided me and Kyle are going on a trip to Spain, and I wanted you out of my house before we left. I don't want you taking advantage of our utilities and food and things. It's not like you pay for them at all. You're basically eating us out of house and home.
Excuse me?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the biggest reasons why we want you out. We can't afford to keep housing you for free. You don't pay anything towards the rent of the house, the bills, or the food. It's actually really selfish of you, to be honest.
I can't believe what you're saying.
Why? I'm just being honest. Sometimes the truth hurts, but you've got to deal with it.
Well, Kyle doesn't agree with you. I spoke to him this afternoon. He said that he wanted to discuss what we all wanted to do together.
He was just being polite. He has to be. He's your son. I know what he really wants, so I'm doing it for him.
I really think you should stop and think about what you're doing before you do something that you'll regret.
I don't see how I'll regret this. You laze about at home, doing nothing all day, and then expect us to pay for everything you want. I think getting rid of you will be the best thing that we can do.
Well, we both know that isn't true. You are the one who sits at home and does nothing, expecting Kyle to work incredibly hard just so you can spend his money on whatever selfish thing you feel like. Not to mention, you don't even do any of the housework whilst he's gone. You sit in front of the TV or swan off to do whatever whilst I clean the house and tidy the kitchen and everything. I mean, how are you even going to afford this trip you want to go on? It's going to cost a lot of money that you really don't have.
We'll have all the money we need once you're gone.
I wouldn't be so sure of that.
Whatever. Just move your stuff by the end of the day, or I'll have the garbage man come and get it.
Fine, but don't come crying to me when you've come to regret your decision.
I'm sure I'll be fine.
Mom, where are you? All your stuff is gone too. What happened?
Why didn't you ask that oh so lovely wife of yours? I'm sure she'd be more than happy to explain.
I did. She just said that you decided to leave for our sake? They gave us some privacy or something like that?
Well, she's lying. I was forced out by Tegan. She packed all of my things into boxes and left them in the front of the yard, and told me to either move them somewhere new or leave them for the bin men.
What? She would never do that. Especially not to my mom.
Well, she did. I wasn't about to fight about it in the street, so I've taken my things and I'm staying at a hotel for now, while I look for somewhere new to live.
Mom, please come back. I'm sure we can sort this all out.
No, I don't want to live in a house with such a horrible woman.
I'm sorry, Mom. I'll have a word with her about all this. I love you.
I love you too.
Tegan, where are you? We need to talk.
I've gone out. I knew you were going to want to yell at me, so I decided to go out with the girls to let you cool down.
What? If you knew that I want to talk to you, why on earth would you do that?
Well, I don't think there's much to talk about. We wanted her out of the house, and you were too much of a coward to do it yourself, so I took care of it. I don't think I deserve to get yelled at for that.
I never said I wanted her to leave the house. You were the one who said that, and I told you we should all sit down and talk through our troubles properly, not just go straight to chucking my mom out on her own.
Look, what's your problem? This is what we both wanted. We have the house to ourselves now. We don't need to worry about anyone else getting in the way.
My mom wasn't getting in the way. I'm more than happy to help her out. I just don't get how you could be so cruel.
Because I'm the one you married, so I'm the only one you should pay attention to. I don't want some old woman getting in the way at home, especially when she doesn't contribute anything to the house.
You really have no idea, do you?
No idea about what?
Never mind. I think it might be best if you stay at your friend's tonight.
What? Are you serious? You're really that upset that I told your mom to live somewhere else?
Yeah, I am.
Whatever. Just so long as you get over it before our holiday. I don't want you ruining it.
Uh-huh. Sure. Whatever.
Hey, Kyle? Why have we got a letter telling us that we need to move out by the end of the month? Haven't you been paying the rent?
Oh yeah, about that. Because I'm the only one working, my wage doesn't actually cover the rent. All the bills plus whatever extravagance you want to buy.
What? But then how have we been paying to live here?
My mom was giving me half of the money for the rent and the bills.
What?
Yeah, she said that she felt bad coming to live with us when we just got married, but that she couldn't bear to be alone after my dad died. I said it was no problem, but she wanted to help out, so she gave me money for the rent and stuff.
Well, why isn't she doing it now? Can't you talk to her and ask her to keep giving you half? I mean, it's kind of selfish of her to expect us to move out so soon, don't you think?
Selfish of her? You're the one who chucked her out. She can't afford to give us half the rent money now, because she needs it to pay for her own house. You can't honestly expect her to pay if she doesn't live here anymore.
Well, what are we going to do then?
What do you mean, we?
Huh? Well, we obviously need to find a way to cover all the expenses. Maybe you could pick up more hours at work? Or is there a better paying job you could apply for?
Actually, I don't need to do anything. In fact, I've already found a nice little place that fits nicely into my budget.
But what about me? I'm your wife.
Actually, about that, there's something on the table for you.
What? These are divorce papers. What is going on?
Well, after seeing how you treated my mom, it got me thinking about what kind of person you actually are. And I found that I don't particularly like you, to be honest. I mean, you're my wife, and you treated my mom so horribly. How will you treat me in the future, or if I do something that you don't like?
That's different.
I don't think it is, and I'm not going to wait around to find out. You have until the end of the month to find yourself somewhere to go. It looks like you best get a job as well if you're going to afford somewhere.
You can't do that.
Actually, I can. You want to know the kicker? My mom was living with us to help me out with the money because you refused to get a job and wanted to live an expensive life that we simply couldn't afford. But now you'll have to finance that yourself. Goodbye, Tegan.
Kyle, wait. Let's talk this through. Your mom can come back and live with us.
She's okay. She's happy in her new home, and so am I. Have a nice life, Tegan. After I moved out, Tegan tried to contact me to get me to come back to her, but after she showed me her true colors, I didn't want anything to do with her. My mom found a nice little cottage to move into, and I found a lovely little apartment. I divorced Tegan, which meant that she had to move out of the house and find herself a new job as a cashier in a local shop. Safe to say that she's not living the high life anymore. And whilst I'm not living in a fancy house, I am more than happy with my little flat and the relaxed life I'm living now that I don't have to worry about financing Tegan's lifestyle.
Mom, we need to talk about what happened at the hospital today. I can't believe you did that. What are you talking about? Don't act like you don't know. You were yelling at my wife. You were screaming at her, saying that her terrible driving is what caused this to happen to me. You blamed her for it. That's because it is her fault. She was the one driving when you got into the accident and this terrible thing happened to you. Now my baby is paralyzed from the waist down. But that's not what happened. How many times do I have to tell you this? We were stopped at a red light, and we were rear-ended by a guy in a truck who had fallen asleep at the wheel. It's not my wife's fault. Even if she had noticed the truck coming behind us, we couldn't have moved. Because there were stopped cars in front of us, too. But if this accident wouldn't have happened, you'd still be a normal person. I'm your mom. I have to get mad at someone. Did you just say I'd still be a normal person? Are you saying I'm not a normal person anymore? Look, I don't care what you say your reason for getting angry is. It's not my wife's fault, and I don't ever want to hear you say that to her again. She got hurt in this accident too. So, I don't care about someone else's child. I'm just so worried about you. You can't blame me for getting upset. You don't care what happens to someone else's child? You know she's my wife, right? She's part of our family. And this isn't the worst thing in the world that could have happened to me. I'll be in a wheelchair, but I'll still be able to go to work and carry on like normal. So, I don't need any more worry from you than what's absolutely necessary. So, this is what I get for caring about my son. Fine, if that's what you want. Alex, I have to tell you something. I was thinking about this a lot last night, and I think it'd be best if we just cut all ties to each other and never spoke to each other again. What? Well, now that you're paralyzed, to put it bluntly, you can't really take care of yourself anymore, can you? If you can't take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of me when I get older? Take care of you? Huh? You're saying, since I can't care for you when you get older, you want nothing to do with me anymore? Well, not just that. But even now, I don't have the time or energy to take care of you in your condition. I'm too old to be looking after anyone anymore. I know you've been helping me out with some bills since I don't work, but don't worry about me. I'll just live off of the inheritance I got from your father when he died. And having one less family member to worry about will make things a lot easier for me. Just consider me not taking care of you in your current state as payment for raising you when you were a child. You're okay with all this, right? You must be out of your mind. Is this what a mom says to her child after he gets into a major car accident? I can't believe you. But you see where I'm coming from, don't you? I worked so hard to raise you. I did everything for you and raised you so well, hoping you'd return the favor for me when I got older. But it seems that's not possible anymore. A son that can't even walk by himself is of no use to me. So, please, just let me go. Let me be free from you. Fine. But just so I've got this straight. You're saying you gave birth to me and raised me just so that I could take care of you when you're older. And now that I can't walk, I'm worthless to you, so you don't want to ever see me again? Well, it sounds bad when you say it like that, but... yes. This isn't my fault. Planning is the most important thing in life. I was planning for my future then, and I'm planning for my future now. I gave this a lot of thought. If we cut all ties to each other, I'll be fine. I can live off of my husband's inheritance. And this way, you won't have to worry about looking after me when I get older. It's a win-win. Look, do whatever you want. If you don't ever want to speak to me again, that's fine by me. But if you're cutting all ties to me, that means you better never contact me ever again. I know what it means. I should be telling you that. That means I don't want you stepping foot in this house again trying to get anything your dad left to me. Starting tomorrow, we're not related anymore. Alex! You came to my house today, didn't you? Why did you take my fridge and my TV? Bring those things back here right now! Those are mine. I bought them myself with my own money when I was living there. I'm sorry for leaving them there when I moved out. I shouldn't have left my stuff there for so long. Sorry about that. I'm glad that spare key was still in the fake rock we put in the garden. Oh, by the way, I put all the food from the fridge into a cooler in the garage. I suggest you eat it all before it goes bad. I can't believe you! I never thought my own son would be this petty. Oh, wait, you're not my son anymore. Whatever, I don't care about those things. Like you said, they've been here a long time. They're old. I'll just use some of your dad's inheritance and buy new ones. Yeah, why not? It was only the newest model of fridge when it came out. And a 75-inch OLED 4K TV shouldn't set you back too much. Just use some of Dad's money to go get new ones, lol. It's your money now. Do whatever you want. I don't need you to tell me that, but that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Don't message me anymore. And don't try stepping foot in this house again. If you do, I'll call the cops. Huh. You were the one who messaged me. Alex. What do you want now? You keep messaging me even though you said you never wanted us to speak again. I just have one last thing I want to say to you. What? I threw out everything that was in your old room. And I mean everything. What? Well, don't blame me. Why would I want a total stranger's things in my house? Remember, we're strangers now. Yesterday was garbage day, so I put everything out to the curb. I watched them put it all into the back of the garbage truck, too. You didn't throw out all the hockey and baseball cards that were in the cardboard box, did you? If it was in your room, then yes, I did. Oh no, don't tell me I threw out something you really wanted, did I? I'm sorry. But it was taken to the dump yesterday, so there's no way to get it back now. So don't message me ever again. I don't want to hear from you anymore. You did a really stupid thing, Mom. Huh? Are you saying you threw out everything Dad left to you in his will? The things Dad left to me? What are you talking about? Dad's collection. I can't believe you did that. A lot of those cars are worth between $500 to $2,000 apiece. Dad had so many rare cards. The value of cards varies year by year, but I'm sure you'd have gotten at least $100K if you'd have sold them all. Huh? What are you talking about? You're kidding, right? Sports cars are just a kid's game, aren't they? Trading cards aren't a game. Rookie cards of popular or famous players can be worth big bucks. Why did you think Dad was collecting them and holding on to them in the first place? I think you need to check this out for yourself on the internet. See what some cards sell for. Dad had a ton of amazing cards. Did you never listen to him when he talked about them? You know I don't like sports. If it involved sports or stupid cards, I never listened to a word he said. Haha. Alex. I'm still waiting for you to say gotcha. You weren't kidding, were you? Those things are worth money? Wait a minute. If they were worth money, how come you didn't take them with you? Oh, I couldn't take those with me. He left those to you. He was specific about that in his will. Huh? You know Dad was a collector. He collected everything. A lot of the stuff he collected just gets more valuable the older it gets. That's why he didn't sell anything before he died. He left you the things that would be worth the most in the future. You know he gave me a few of the bigger, heavier antiques for me and my wife's new house. But he left all the small stuff for you because it would be easier to store, move around, or just sell. I know that, but I didn't know trading cards were worth anything. They're just small pieces of cardboard. Obviously, you didn't know. Dad told you before he died that if you ever needed money, you could sell his collections. I assumed if the time came that you ever needed to sell things, I'd come and help you with it. But then you decided to never speak to me again because of my accident. I had no idea. Well, I never thought you'd throw that stuff out. You knew those cards were part of Dad's collections. It's kind of funny. You threw me away, then you threw those cards away. Haha. They were in your old room. I thought they were yours. Mom, I moved out long ago. I live with my wife. I have everything of mine here. I have everything Dad left me in his will, too. I came back the other day to get the only things of mine that were still in that house. The fridge and the TV. Everything else in there is yours. Alex, please. You've got to go to the dump and try to get those cards back for me. Huh? No way. I'm in a wheelchair. I can't go there and do that. But you said they're worth over 100K! You can probably find them if you get there right away. I can't search around a dump in a wheelchair. Besides, cars are worth money based on condition. They were probably crushed in the back of the garbage truck. I can't see them being worth anything now. The plastic card cases they were in wouldn't protect them from a garbage truck's trash compactor. Stop making excuses and try. At least a few of them must have survived. Wait, I've got it. If you can get those cards back for me, I'll let you be my son again. Then I'll be able to help support you again. I don't need you to support me. I'm a grown man. What are you talking about? You're in a wheelchair. You can't do anything by yourself. I'm not by myself. I'm married. My wife is here. And you know what my job is, don't you? You know I'm a 3D sculptor. People hire me to make models and sculpts for everything from plastic miniatures for painting to scale prototypes of projects. I sit at a desk and use 3D sculpting software all day. I don't need legs to do that. There are tons of jobs where people just sit at a desk all day. I don't know why you think people in wheelchairs can't do anything. Huh? You mean, even though you had a big accident and you can't walk anymore, your income isn't going to change? Exactly. You really don't know anything about me, do you? In fact, I'll be getting a big settlement from insurance for this accident I had. I'll probably never need to work again. But I will, because I love my job. What? You're getting money from this accident? I didn't know all that. Well, it doesn't matter to you anyway. I'm not your son anymore. Alex! Why are you being so cold to your mom all of a sudden? Your dad died, and you moved out. I'm all by myself. How about you and your wife come live with me? Come over for dinner tonight. Let's talk about it. No way. Do you think I'm stupid? Why are you saying that to me anyway? You're the one who wanted to cut all ties with me. Alex, please. Things are really tough for me. Thinking about my future now is making me really uncomfortable. I'm not surprised. I assumed it would. That's why I put the cards in a spot you'd easily see them in case you wanted to sell them. You were the one who went on a rampage and wanted to destroy anything you thought was mine. Honestly, I don't even feel sorry for you anymore. I've got it. How about you give me all the antiques that Dad left to you? I don't care if they're big and heavy. Huh? Why would I do that? Dad left those things to me and my wife. I'm not gonna get rid of them. I don't want you selling them for money. Those things are all I have left of Dad. He treasured those things, and I'm going to treasure them too. At least give me a couple of them. You don't want those old things sitting in your new house. They won't match anything. Giving them to me is your best option, don't you think? Your dad would be happy too, because you'd be helping me out. You just don't get it, do you? Anyway, I'm not giving you anything Dad left to me. And there's no way on earth me and my wife are gonna move in with you. From now on, I'm not even gonna reply to any of your messages. You're so insensitive. I can't stand talking to you anymore. I've got money left in the bank. I don't need you or those antiques Dad left you. Yeah, about that. Mom, you're relying too much on that money Dad left you. I think you need to get a job. What do you have left in the bank? How much is it? Like 100K? Yeah, so what? That's more than enough. How many people do you know with 100K in their bank account? I'm rich. Do you think you can live off of that for the rest of your life? Huh? It's 100K! Yeah, and how much do you spend now in a year? 20,000? Just do some simple math and you'll see that it's only gonna last you about 5 years. When Dad was alive and working, your standard of living was a little high. That's why he could afford to buy all those antiques and things. But that's impossible for you now. What are you saying? Are you saying I'm gonna have to cut back on my spending even more than I am now? I can't do that. I've got 100K in the bank. There are so many things that I want to buy. But Mom, planning is the most important thing in life, remember? I know you can do it, Mom. Oh, and by the way, don't even think about coming to live with us. We don't let strangers into our house. Alex, wait. I'm not a stranger. We're family. Let's talk about this. Alex! Mom, I'm paralyzed, remember? Having one less family member to worry about will make things a lot easier for me. You've got the rest of Dad's inheritance to do whatever you want with. And I've got a wife who loves me and will help take care of me. It's a win-win, isn't it? After that, my mom rushed to the dump by herself. Apparently, the people at the dump didn't give her permission to go looking around by herself, so she snuck in. The police were called, and by the time they dragged her out of the dump, she was covered in garbage and stunk to high heaven. The police assumed she was off some sort of medication or something, so they brought her to my house. But I explained to them that we've cut all ties to each other, and that I wouldn't be taking responsibility for her. The police had no choice but to take her back to her house, as it was clear they didn't want her stinking up their lockup area even for one night. A few days after that, my wife and I returned home to find quite a surprise. When we opened our door, it looked as if a tomato had gone through the inside of our house. We had been broken into. But I knew that it was my mom who had broken in and was looking around for anything of value that my dad had left me. I swear my mom doesn't listen to anything anyone tells her, because I told her that Dad left all the small things to her. Nothing of mine was taken, because all the antiques I got from Dad were way too big for my mom to move by herself. But my mom had tested my patience to their limit, and I decided to call the police on her for breaking into my house. When the police came and picked her up for the second time within a week, they explained how serious the consequences for breaking and entering could be if I proceeded to press charges. My mom realized that I was serious and that she needed to back off. And she seems to be leaving me alone now, at least for the time being. It's possible that I might decide to start speaking to her again someday in the future. But as for now, we've put our house up for sale. And we're going to be moving away without telling her where we're moving to. I'm changing my cell phone number too. That way, I won't have to worry about her not talking to me ever again and messaging me every few days.